ain't nothing like a funky beat.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Guapish at the Disco. As always, I'm your DJ, Tanner, and I am joined by my favorite cracker, Tanichi.
What's up, guys? I made tuna casserole tonight.
I do love me a good tuna casserole. Speaking of smelling like fish, Jackson.
I did just go take my cat for a walk around the block, you know. I'm feeling real chipper for this album review right now.
That's right, everyone. And the album we are reviewing is Steven Universe Volume 1, the original soundtrack. This is, for the TV show Steven Universe. It's a bunch of songs from, I think it's the first 2 seasons or something. Let's kick it. I'll start it off with Jackson since he's also seen the show. What are your overall thoughts on this album?
Okay, so let's not get it fucking twisted here. I had technically watched the show way back in the day, but I have not seen it in a very long time. So me saying I've watched the show is not entirely accurate. I know basically nothing about it at this point, outside of the incredibly high level details, and I barely even know those. So yeah, if you're a Steven Universe stan, get fucking bent. You have no right to criticize my opinion on this album anymore. I'm viewing it entirely blind. Anywho, unfortunately, this album did not land super high for me. The first, half is pretty fucking dog shit to me for the most part. I think the biggest detractor is just the vocal performances are pretty terrible throughout until you get to that second half, and then a lot of the female vocalists, I think, start to redeem it a bit. And that's also when we start getting into actual songs, which is nice because, there are quote-unquote songs in the first half of the album, but it's more concentrated on just fun little themes they have throughout the show or whatever. And unfortunately, listening to this as an album is a pretty miserable experience for the most part because of that. I do think some of the songs are good in the latter half of it. They're actually worse than that I remembered from it. Stronger Than You, I think, is the big standout one for me. I listened to that shit and I was like, wait, this is a Steven Universe song? Crazy! I remember liking it back in the day a lot, and there were some other ones that I did like as well. But yeah, generally speaking, most of these songs are average to bad for me, and there's 37 of them. So yeah, not crazy on this album in general, I wouldn't say. If you could even call it an album. It's an album, but it's not, it's a soundtrack.
Yeah, that's all totally fair. Personally, it's gonna be a tough time rating this one for me just because I am so very nostalgic for the show, I suppose. This album is very comfy to me, with all the little jingles and whatever. I'd say I think most of the songs are middle of the road to I like them. There are only a couple that I don't really like. Yeah, Tanichi, what are your overall thoughts?
I'm more of a video game soundtrack enjoyer. So this is not my first TV show soundtrack. I listened to the American Dad soundtrack a while ago. Seth Green and the actor who plays Steve, weirdly beautiful vocals. So I kind of went into this expecting that, I'm just gonna be surprised, and then I wasn't. This felt very cartoony, and in it of that, it was good. I had some stuff stuck in my head. Do It For Her got stuck in my head for a while. The main one that got stuck in my head is just Giant Woman, because I just think that one's funny. And it's my favorite. I kind of agree with Jackson, though. The start is super slow, and then when you get into the more song parts, I sort of was like, oh, I'm listening to a song now after 20 minutes of 1 minute, 30-second snippets. So I was pleasantly surprised to get song, but even then, I wasn't familiar with this TV show, so judging it off musical content, I was I understand some of these characters and some of the stuff they're talking about, but I'm not really into it. It did make me want to watch the show, though.
Okay.
Sounds like there's a lot of shit going on.
It does have a pretty complex plot from what I understand, but also this is not me trying to degrade it. It's just, a victim of its format, that it is a children's animated cartoon, and because of that, it's like a 90% filler. So most of what you're watching is just them kind of fucking around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One point of disagreement, kind of, that I have with Jackson is I agree that a lot of the vocals are not good in the traditional sense, but like I think it is, I believe it is like a point of like it was intentional on the part of the show's creator to have the actual voice actors also do the singing, even if they're not like excellent singers.
Oh, 100%.
Just because it kind of
I'd say 100%. I mean, that's why they had like fucking Steven, like the actor for him, singing in the voice of Steven. And I'm sure if, like you, or you have a more like personal connection to the show, it would work better for you. But, as I have no interest in it really, I think it's cool they do that. But unfortunately, as an end listener of the song, it just doesn't sound great.
That's fair. I do think it, like, even outside of the context of the show, it does help with how a lot of these songs are more trying to tell a story or convey a specific message, and having it be like, oh, it's not like a professional singing it. Let's move to what like the most standout song or songs were for you guys. Tanichi, what would you say were your favorite songs?
Empire City, which wasn't a song, little snippet. Already mentioned it, Giant Woman. And then I'm looking at it now. It was either Both of You or It's Over, Isn't It? Hold on, I'm just gonna fucking skip to it. Okay, it's Both of You. And then Both of You. I don't want to shit on the Steven's voice actor. I think he did good. Like, I think that's probably because, like, in my head, I'm comparing it to other, like, child voice actors singing it. You got Dream, you got Gumball, you got fucking Loopy Dooper from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. You got some classics in there, but they don't sound better or worse than this, if that makes sense. I appreciate this. It's not like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not so bad that I dislike it. It's very much like it does what it's supposed to. Like, it gets me in that like cartoony Sunday morning vibe. Like, I feel like the voice actor did what he was supposed to, even not being a singer. I think he did good.
I'd even say with him specifically, he's kind of like all over the spectrum in like how good he sounds on different songs. There's some songs where I'm like, oh, he's like actually doing some reasonably impressive singing here.
I agree.
And then ones where it's like Cookie Cat, where he's just like screaming in a cartoon voice. Yeah,
where it's like, all right, you're doing a voice.
Yeah.
But even in that, I was like, it's working. It sounds like if Steven was singing, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm still in that headspace, so I can't do it wrong. I can't not give it credit. I think as well. I mean, Jackson said it's a lot of filler because it's that cartoony vibe, but I don't know. I feel like all animated stuff that has a small singing portion, that where the singing isn't a focus, you know what I mean? I feel like all of them have like a bar to meet, and none of them necessarily go too high over it.
I have no idea what the fuck point
you're trying to make with that sentence. Anyway,
I think this is very like baseline. I think compared to everything, I guess to give it a more statement-esque way to say it, compared to everything animated with music in it, this doesn't seem as bad as like fucking anything else I've heard. Like,
okay,
you know what I mean? This seems like, I don't know what I could directly. The filler
previously was about the show, not the fucking album.
No, I know. Okay. Even in this album, I feel like it has filler. It's got fucking 37 tracks in it, and several of them are below a minute. I feel like the filler comment is justified. I was just linking that into why I was thinking this. I talk a lot.
Okay.
I just like to talk. I talk a lot. I give a lot of filler in speech, I guess, and you guys just aren't fucking with it. Nah, you guys clearly don't. You guys clearly aren't fucking with it.
Listen, man, it's just if you
come on,
make
more
sense
15
when you say
minutes.
those thoughts.
Yeah, whatever, dude. More 15-minute episodes where it's just like, I like this. I like this too. It was good.
Yep.
Favorite song, track 7. B.
Bro saying like he doesn't have album reviews that are exactly that. Anywho, we've got...
No, I do. I'm trying not to, though. You know what I mean?
It's hard when you're not familiar with the genre.
Yeah. And I think maybe that's why why it seems nonsensical, is I'm not familiar with the TV show or the soundtrack of TV show genre. So it's hard to really put the thought out that this doesn't sound bad.
Yeah. Anywho, I guess some more general thoughts before I get into the standout tracks for me, because I already basically gave my standout tracks, but I do like a lot of the instrumentals in it. I think, like, specifically for, like, the dad ones, I think it's fun right now. He's, like, the fucking loser in the van with the good electric guitar, and he's just, like, constantly doing these, like, stupid wild riffs for no reason in these, like, slower songs, and I think it's just, you know, I don't know a ton about the show or the characters at this point, but I do think that those ones are kind of fun. And in some of the better songs too, the production isn't bad at all. You know, you can definitely tell there's a studio behind the creation of these songs. Some of them have some pretty fun little synthy background noise and stuff, and make for a pretty enjoyable experience, especially with like the softer, more like, I don't know, the type of singing style it is that they do. With like the very mature, like slow, emotional sounding singing they do on some of the later songs. But those are definitely the ones that I like the most. And I guess the standout songs for me, it's just a lot of the last ones. It's Over, Isn't It? I like that one. I think I Need a Little. Here Comes a Thought, I think is probably my favorite song of the album. I like that one a lot, actually. And I do actually have some nostalgia for, what the fuck is it, like Stronger Than You? Yeah, Stronger Than You. That was the only one I actually had remembered, obviously outside of like the fucking intro of the show, which of course I remember. But I do think it's interesting they have the full and like the TV cut of the intro in this. That's fun. But those are my standouts. As for like ones I don't particularly like, there's a lot. It's kind of just a fucking toss-up of any other random 30-second one through like Taco Cat, whatever, that type of shit. You know, there isn't a ton of substance with a lot of the songs, and they kind of all just go into the bucket of like, why the fuck am I listening to this right now? The first time I was listening to this album too, I was just kind of like passively listening to it while I was in the shower. And I'm just sitting there watching myself like, what the fuck am I listening to right now? I was so confused for my 20-minute long shower session there. And you, Tanner, Mr. Burrito Eater, what were your standout songs? What do you like so much about this album?
Yeah, fucking cut to him while he's got a mouthful of burrito.
I'd say I have two what I would say are huge standouts where I'm like, okay, these are like, even if you remove them from the context of being like songs for a TV show, I think these are legitimately good songs. The first one is It's Over Now, Isn't It? I think that song is fucking fantastic. I love the story it's telling. It's very emotional and whatever.
Facts.
And a really good vocal performance.
It's got nice instrumentals too, like that slow-paced piano that kind of just like envelopes you. It's definitely like a very immersive feeling track.
Yeah.
I felt that way for Do It For Her. That's why I liked it. It gave me like a stage play vibe. And I was like, damn, I could watch this. Bars.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then my other huge standout is Love Like You, the end credit song. I think that's a really solid track. Specifically, the verse where it's, I always thought I might be bad. Now I'm sure that it's true because I think you're so good and I'm nothing like you. I don't know why that fucking line obliterates me, dude. I'm like, oh my god, that's so poetic.
That's fucking pretty as shit.
So yeah, those two songs specifically I really, really like. For songs I'm not a huge fan of, I wouldn't say I hate any of the songs. I'm not a huge fan of Full Disclosure. Mostly because like the sort of motif in that song is like the phone ringing, and obviously it's supposed to be disruptive and like grab your attention or whatever, but I'm like, it sounds bad, you know? And then what's the use of Feeling Blue? My main problem with that one is I don't like how non-melodic it is. They go for this very like statico rhythm to it where it's very start and stop and whatever, and I just don't really vibe with it at all.
I think the one I didn't like the most was Having You Noticed. I'm looking at my notes now and I'm like, I clicked on it because my notes are Taylor Swift, but really bad. And then I clicked on it and then I'm like, yeah, it's really bad, Taylor Swift.
The fucking instrumental is absolutely... It literally sounds like a Taylor Swift song. He's fucking on that shit with that fucking guitar. It literally just sounds like one.
I kind of like that one just because, like, I think it has the best sounding female vocals in the whole album.
Yeah, but they're not hers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is one of the few ones where it does bring on, like, a guest singer for one of the voice actors. And I was going to say, it is funny because they have this very good sounding female singer, and then the character's voice in the show is literally like, guys, I just don't know if it's supposed to be like this. It's like the fucking vocal fry and really like, you know, that kind of voice. And then they give her the fucking Olivia Olson's singing voice. It's very funny.
Kudos. I think it's a good. I think it's a good gimmick, or not not a gimmick. If it's a motif,
sure, gimmick.
Yeah, gimmick. I think it's a good gimmick. The bad sounding character having a beautiful voice. I think it's a good gimmick.
That's true enough.
Yeah, I like that trope. I think it's funny.
Trope. There it is. Good diction.
Do we have any other thoughts on this album?
I wish they made an album where it was just the songs, and this would have landed a lot higher for me. Because it is like, I am very conflicted with this, generally speaking, because a lot of it is pretty mid, and a lot of it is pretty bad, and just like not even really music for me. But there are some good songs in here, and it is unfortunate that they are vastly outnumbered by the mid and the bad. And I wish that ratio was cut down a bit. But obviously, it's a fucking soundtrack, so you know what the fuck do I have to say? You know, it's the soundtrack. You know, that's the point.
I agree. Something interesting I wrote was just that I wished Empire City and Tower of Mistakes were longer. Were there any other, like, of the short ones that you guys just wished or thought, like, damn, if this was longer, I would have liked this more? That was a question.
None off the top of my head. I didn't write any notes down for this shit. This is all off the fucking dome because there's 37
I'm looking
songs.
through them real quick.
You did say that.
I mean, I think Big Fat Zucchini is funny. I don't know if you could actually make it a whole song is the problem. I think it's funny to have this random, you know, punk song in the album. I'm not really seeing any where I'm like, yeah, I wish this was a full song instead of just a little snippet. Yeah, no, I think I'm pretty satisfied with them as is, to be honest.
I will say, I liked Here Comes the Thought enough. It was the only song in this that I added to my playlist, and I even liked the main vocalist of that, AJ, whatever her name is. I even looked her up and wanted to seek out more music that she made.
Shout out AJ, whatever your name is.
AJ Michalka.
Yeah. Miss Michalka. Come on the pod.
That would be really funny if we just randomly hey, you want to review this random fucking death metal album with us?
Yeah. Tell us your professional opinion on this piece of music.
Okay. Are we ready to move on to our rankings then?
Dude, yeah.
I sure am.
Okay, Jackson, kick us off. What are you rating it?
I'm giving this one a solid 3 out of 10. This one, unfortunately, I think some of the songs are decent. A lot of them are bad to mid, but the big thing is we're rating albums here, you know, and if I was, you know, just averaging out all the song scores, it'd probably be closer to like a mid 4 or something, but also just the album listening experience is pretty fucking rough because it's just so random what's happening for the most part, and it gets dragged down a decent amount because of that, unfortunately.
Awesome. I love that.
Fair enough. Tanichi, what about you?
Dude, I had it at a 4. But after Jackson's impassioned little snippet there, I'm gonna put it down to 3. I agree. I didn't really think about the listening experience of sitting through all of this at once, and yeah, it wasn't very good.
Fair enough. Now,
it wasn't very good.
this is my nostalgia talking and bias and whatever. I personally, I don't mind that it's like really random and all over the place. For me, that just makes it like it engages me more and has it pass by quicker. Like, it's an hour-long album, but to me, it feels like it's over way quicker just because we are churning through songs so quickly.
True.
So I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.
Honestly,
Damn.
That's more than I would have thought you would have given it.
That's way higher than I thought. Even for nostalgia, that's incredible.
Yeah, I certainly respect your opinion on this, though.
I don't.
Absolutely. I mean, if I had watched this, knowing a lot more context about, like, what maybe these songs are based on within the narrative, or, you know, the feelings the characters have when they're singing these things, for example, like the fucking random Lapis Lazuli one, you know, he's, like, singing some emotional song about this character. I don't know fucking anything about this character. I don't know why the character thinks, what he's saying means anything, you know. It's all just completely lost on me. So I'm like missing like a ton of depth to what this could have been, and I certainly would feel a lot cooler listening to this, I would say, if I had that knowledge. Unfortunately, I don't, and you know, that's just the fucking way it is. I didn't feel like binging Steven Universe to understand what the fuck's going on in this album.
Fair enough.
It lands at a 4 out of 10 overall.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay, Tanichi's turn to pick an album.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Are you guys ready to listen to some rap?
Oh boy.
Yay!
I don't know. I was thinking of doing something short. It's technically not an album, it's an EP. But it is another British guy, which you guys are gonna fucking hate. But you guys will be able to understand this one, which is good. It is an EP called The Teller by an artist called Shoddy Hora. Little bit of background on him. He is I originally discovered him as a British battle rapper. Battle rap is super ingrained in black culture, but there's an actual scene for it in Britain, which is not really respected in the black community, which I always thought was funny because a lot of what they were doing was actually super creative. And this is one of the more, a lot of it is really silly as well. I have to say that as a black person, a lot of it is bullshit, but a lot of it is kind of good. And this is one of their more creative artists. He branched out and got record deals, you know, just to go by and, you know, put a little credit on this guy. He isn't just a battle rapper who's making music. He was a battle rapper who transitioned into a very decent musician. And this is one of his more experimental sort of projects, I'll say, because an EP would just be a project. And I'm really excited to review this. I'm really excited to have you guys listen to it. It is not long at all, 20 minutes. Bust this one out quick.
Fantastic. Well, guys, make sure you check us out in the next episode of Guapish at the Disco, where we'll be reviewing The Teller by Shoddy Hora. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.